Hello and welcome to the Keep Your Wings podcast. To escape the trauma of the Hualien earthquake, I sought refuge in a hostel in Dulan. It was a chance to enjoy peaceful days filled with concert, hikes and beers.
Keep Your Wings, le podcast.
Chapter 11. Good thing come to those who wait. The beers clinked together once more as the cards were clumsily slapped on the weathered wooden table, all amid a burst of laughter. I had arrived at a hostel in Dulan, a small town located 153 kilometers from Hualien. I needed a change of scenery, to see new faces and to leave my trauma behind. It wasn't easy, but thanks to the community I met there, I began to feel alive again, free from my ghost tremors. It took another week before that unsettling feeling finally left me. I found a job in exchange for lodging. It was a laid-back atmosphere with a mix of different personalities. From a tattoo juggler surfer to a vegetarian striking various yoga poses, a Catholic American, and a Taiwanese man eager for advice from Europeans. These were people I wasn't used to interacting with. Yet, surprisingly, I got along very well with them. The great strength of this community was their willingness to talk, meet people, and be curious about the world without imposing their thought or ideas on others. In this environment, I handled check-in, served drink, cleaned the terrace, fold laundry, and return deposit to our temporary guests. It was a jovial atmosphere that led to many fits of laughter, especially when during Chinese New Year a whole family, grandmother and young children included, showed up. The look of shock in my eyes when they placed their suitcase at my feet and pointed to the floor where their dormitory was located. I smiled and carried their bags upstairs with another helper. I nearly burst out laughing when I saw their disappointed face upon discovering the dormitory consisted of bunk beds. I finally couldn't hold it when Ben, the hostel manager, explained that the older locals often didn't distinguish between hostel and hotel.
These are the kind of people who want to pay the lowest price during the Lunar New Year festivities, but expect hotel-level service. I hate those kind of people.
Even funnier, the next day one of the family members asked for breakfast in bed. First of all, breakfast consists of toast with peanut butter or chocolate, a classic in many hostels. And secondly, such a request is simply fanciful in a place like this. Many people visit us briefly, passing travelers, lonely souls, and backpackers looking for boozy nights. They were all seeking a moment of connection, conversation, or a closeness that was offered to them, almost on a silver plate. I'll never forget meeting Chris, an American, proud but humble in his words, open-minded, in his 40s, a biker, rather solitary, but someone who could captivate his audience.
Excuse me?
My panicked interlocutor mumbled one night when the beer had flowed freely. I look at Chris as tears welled up in his eyes. Trembling, he clutches his beer, trying hard to hide this sudden surge of emotion.
I'm sorry, I've been through some pretty rough times lately. I think it's the alcohol making me think about it again.
He smiled nervously.
Since the earthquake, I haven't been at ease.
You were there too, I reply. I spend my evening checking earthquakes reports online. I know I shouldn't, but I can't help it.
Same for me. As soon as I feel like the ground is shaking, I pull up my phone to check if I dreamed or not. And most of the time, I dream.
That conversation lasts at least another hour, but was truly cathartic for both Chris and I. It was from that moment that I started to feel better and less anxious. Despite the help from the community, it was this conversation with Chris that was most healing for me. I never thought about leaving Taiwan after the disaster, but forgetting it in just a few days was nearly impossible. Every news broadcast opened with the Hualien earthquake, the ongoing rescue operation, which continued for weeks as I tried in vain to forget what had happened with cheap beer and whiskey. This February saga slowly became a part of my daily life. Checking tremors, following the rescue efforts, and the reaction of official and foreign countries. On February 28, the media announced the arrest of the engineer who had overseen the construction of the Yunmen Tsuiti. He was accused of negligence leading to death. The press release stated that the man in question hired workers and supervised the work himself, resulting in a significant reduction in the building's structural strength and earthquake resistance. Indeed, the building withstood only 8 seconds before collapsing under the 6.4 magnitude quake. Currently, 3 people remain in custody awaiting trial. I had some days off at the hostel, which gave me a chance to explore the surrounding area. Beautiful, by the way. A well-balanced mix of mountain, beaches, and local kindness. At first, I thought Dulan would be a small, isolated town in the middle of nature, but that wasn't the case. It's a very international place, combining a local population, laid-back expat, and cultural events. The place to be is undoubtedly the sugar factory. which hosts intimate concerts sung in the Aboriginal dialect, as well as real rock bands that drove the crowd wild. Between concert and workout session, I also tried hitchhiking to various spots along Taiwan east coast. Stunning landscape and weather that will make my Belgian friends grin with envy. It was in Dulan that the kindness of the locals hit me hard, like a fast uppercut. Not only did many people stop for us, but even if they didn't speak English, they always found a way to spoil us. Some bought us grilled sausage and black bean sauce, a popular snack in Taiwan. Apples, I was given about 30 in a bag, and bubble tea, also very popular, a tea filled with tapioca pearls. The locals found the food and contact with foreigners, wanted to share what they consider the must-try of Taiwan. Each encounter often ended with a selfie or a photo, magical moments that made you bow down in respect to such incalculated kindness. How many people in Belgium would stop to pick you up, offering you foods and drink? It was also in Dulan that I realized that the countryside doesn't necessarily mean poverty. I had long thought that outside of Taiwanese cities, the population must be poorer or have more modest incomes. And that wasn't necessarily the case in Dulan, where some houses were quite large, but with beautiful gardens and even few luxury wooden hotels. Those 2 weeks I spent there gave me everything I needed to continue my journey. Comfort, human connections, and experiences without taboos with the locals. It left me with the genuine feeling that Taiwan had managed to carve out a place in my once stone heart.